All right, welcome to today. So, without further ado, let us spin the wheel and see which deck we are playing first today. Shape Anew. All right. So, the Shape Anew deck obviously looks pretty similar to Elementals, but the big difference is that we are playing the card Shape Anew, which is very similar to Creativity. The difference is that you sacrifice an artifact and you go get specifically another artifact. So what does this mean? Well, in this case, it means we're getting Portal to Phyrexia as the payoff artifact. It also means that in matchups where Portal to Phyrexia isn't necessarily as good, we can play other big artifact payoffs. So that would be Platinum Empyreon against Burn, and Sundering Titan in the mirror, or just against any deck that's playing a lot of rainbow lands. But other than that, the rest of the deck is pretty much Elementals as you've come to know them. The one downside with this version is that because Shape Anew has to always hit an artifact, we cannot play the One Ring unless we are specifically going to play the ring instead. So I actually might go with that. Yeah, you know what? And let's go put 4 of the One Rings in the deck. I had no clue you stream. I love your YouTube short deck text, and I saw just watched the video you posted and was curious if you streamed, and here you are. Well, thank you. Glad you enjoy them. Is the One Ring better than Portal to Phyrexia? We will see. All right, that's probably fine. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a very, very prepared streamer here. All right, let's run this. We have 4 lands, Delighted Halfling, Leyline Binding, Solitude, and we do have both of the Triumphs for Leyline Binding. This hand's not great. So if we want to play Delighted Halfling on turn 1, then we can't play Binding on turn 2. So this hand is pretty awkward, actually. It doesn't even have that great payoffs either. Let's mull. All right, Shape Anew, double to Fairy. Sure. What am I bottoming? I'm going to fetch both the Triumphs and then... So let's just bottom Stomping Ground because this gives us access to every combination. All right, done. Play Foothills, pass. Delighted Halfling. Let's go grab Jetmir. All right, well, there's the ring. So I guess we just play this land, pass the turn. We're going to go fetch Zagoth, and then we can untap, play Teferi, bounce either the Halfling or something else that they play, perhaps. Windswept Heath, cracking it. Finding a tapped Rogren Triumph, and then playing, presumably, Wrenn and 6. All right, let's go grab Zagoth, and then we can F6 through the rest of this. I've been really into Lotus Breach and this Kethis combo deck I made recently, and occasionally I like Neobrand in case it isn't obvious. I love Storm and combo. Well, there's plenty of those decks on the list, so hopefully it will go well for you. Okay, despite the fact that Wrenn and 6 can ping down Teferi, I mean, we don't have any other plays, so let's just Teferi bounce the Halfling. What do I need? I have white. I have both Triumphs, so I probably have everything that I want. So if I grab a Forest here, there's the off chance that we draw into, like, Breeding Pool or Gingerbread Cabin and then can't play Omnath, so it's better to shock in Temple Garden probably. All right, cast a Fairy. Yeah, Wrenn and 6 pings this down, but that's fine. And then pass the turn. So they replay the Halfling, and then, yeah, Teferi gets pinged down. All right, so probably best to just jam Omnath onto the board, or is it? Or is it better to just... Maybe it's better to just play the ring, and then we can try to play Omnath with floating mana next turn, because just jamming Omnath is susceptible to Solitude and Fury and other stuff. Yeah, let's just fetch and put in Stomping Ground, and then just cast Ring. Well, hey, good to catch a stream, fellow. Love the YouTube videos. Thank you. All right, so it's the Elementals mirror, so buckle up. It's going to be a while. Nissa Resurgent, sure. So now they play a fetch land. They make 3 mana plus Halfling. Oh, no, I guess not. All right. Take 1. Oh, yeah, are they a land behind? Or did I just miscount? Okay, so they're attacking us even though we ringed last turn. No shame, I've done the same thing. All right, Nissa, trigger. Yep. Fetch, trigger again. Let's pop their revealed cards open. Oh, well, it's showing us all the stuff they reveal off Nissa. What'd they hit? They found Solitude. Okay. All right, draw a card. So since they found Solitude, now we can't play Omnath without it getting killed. We didn't draw a land either. All right, ring. Still didn't find a land. Jeez. All right, so let's say we go Leyline Binding, Wrenn and 6, Teferi, bounce Nissa, and then it can still just get attacked to death by Delighted Halfling, so that's a problem. I mean, eventually we have to trade resources, right? And we do need to draw more cards. I think it's just best jam Omnath. If they Solitude it, that's fine. All right, so white, blue, green, red. Trigger Omnath. They'll probably Solitude in response. They didn't, and we still didn't draw a land, which sucks, but okay, what can you do? Well, let's discard one of these Shape Anews. We already have 3 of the rings out of our deck. So they get to Nissa trigger. We don't have a response to any of this, so let's just 6 through this. So Nissa trigger, they get 2 more mana plus the 4 they already have in play. So 5, 6, 7, 8 mana total. But they would have played Omnath first if they had it. Would they reveal Solitude again? So they have 2 Solitudes. So they can just hardcast Solitude without pitching anything now. And then they can attack us down to 11 if they want. All right, take 2 from the ring, go down to 9. We finally drew a land. It's not a fetch land, though. So if we draw with the ring, well, we're probably forced to play another ring regardless. All right, so ring, draw a bunch of cards. The problem is they have Solitude, so if we play Omnath, they can always just respond to the Omnath by killing it. So we need to do what? Teferi, bounce Solitude back to their hand, or Nissa. We only have 1 Leyline Binding. We have a Solitude of our own, though. And if we tick down Teferi, Ren and 6 can just ping it to kill it. So that's also a problem. So we go Teferi, and then we have to tick it up, but then they have enough creatures on board to kill it. I guess we can Binding plus Solitude. If we Solitude and Binding, then we have to pitch Omnath, so we don't have Omnath anymore. So maybe the correct play is just keep developing the board, put in another 1 ring, protect this for a turn so we have more mana next turn. That might be correct. All right, let's play Snow Forest, play Halfling, play the ring, keep the new ring, and then pass back. Viseiju or Zagoth Triumph, sure. Let's grab, so now we don't have Black Mana anymore, so we can't Binding. So let's just put Breeding Pool into play. Oh, we're overstuffed on hand size. Okay, well, let's just discard Shape Anew again. So Nissa's going to trigger. I think our opponent's just going to win because they have a mana advantage over us. And that's going to be the issue. They have a board, which means we can never stick Teferi. They have Solitude in hand, which means if we play Omnath without Teferi protection, it just dies before we get a trigger off of it. Fury entered the revealed cards. So they have Fury, Solitude. Fury, yep. It's going to kill our Halfling. That's fine. They get a land back. Besieguing our Jetmir, sure. At this point, what am I getting? Snow Plains. All right, draw a card. All right, untap. Take damage from the ring. Okay, now what? I think we're in the same position, basically, is the issue. So we can Solitude what? We probably have to kill Nissa. So like Solitude Nissa. Solitude blocks something. We don't have Black Mana anymore, so Leyline Binding costs 2, so we can't play both Solitude and Leyline Binding. This is just like all kinds of awkward. I think it's probably better to just concede at this point. I don't think we're winning this game, and it's going to take forever to play through it. So, well, let's at least draw with the ring and see what we get. Yeah, same deal. So let's concede and go to game 2. Now, we didn't see the ring from them, but that doesn't mean they don't have it. So we want our own Besiegus. We want Veto to counter Ren and 6 and Teferi. These are also good late game removal. And then these matchups are so grindy that we probably don't need this many copies of Ring. So we can cut some of the Shape Anews. What else? We can probably just cut all the Shape Anews, and then the bindings are going to be way worse post board as well. They presumably have binding. They'll presumably bring in Hate for the Ring, which would also be Hate for binding. So also we're bringing in Terra Sunder, so these aren't as good. Yeah, that looks fine. All right, submit. I would like to play. That is awkward as hell. We can't keep that. Mulligan. All right, we can keep that. Keep and put back. What am I putting back? I don't need 3 lands because I can just run and 6 the first land back, or the fetch land back rather. So we're going to go like fetch land, grab Jetmir. All right, so let's put back the forest. All right, Heath go. And then we'll fetch on their end step, get Jetmir's Garden, and then untap, play the shock land, run and 6 back our fetch. They're going to play Halfling on turn 1, sure. Fetch Jetmir, shock in Stomping Ground, play run and 6, get our land back, go. Opponent plays their own run and 6, yeah, it's the land back. Risen Reef's way worse when they have a pinger in play. So, again, it's probably just going to be like Teferi bounce this, keep them on less mana. Would you say Burn is a bad matchup for 4-color elementals? Yes, but it's not terrible. And that was before Delighted Halfling, so I don't know if Delighted Halfling changes the math on that, because part of the math, and Nissa, because part of the math on that is that sometimes Omnath is too slow to come down. By turn 4, you might be dead. But with Nissa plus Delighted Halfling, that speeds that up. All right, fetch land. Let's go fetch. We don't have blue mana, so let's fetch. Yeah, okay, well, All right, so let's grab Breeding Pool. Shock that in, plus this back, get the Windswept Heath, play Teferi. Is it better to bounce this, or is it better to just plus Teferi? Yeah, let's just bounce this, keep them off mana, and then they'll ping it down with run and 6, but that's fine. All right, go ahead. Ping off Teferi, play Halfling again, and they didn't have any other plays. Okay. Ooh, Beseiju. That's tempting, but I can't start doing that yet. So, I think I just have to run out this Risen Reef even though it can get pinged down. So maybe what I do instead of recurring this land is I ping their Renin 6, and then if they want to kill my Risen Reef with Renin 6, they have to reduce their Renin 6 to 1, and then I can kill it next turn. That seems okay. Well, regardless, let's play Risen Reef first. All right, so we got another Renin 6. So yeah, we're not in need of doing anything like that. So let's ping their Renin 6, and then let's pass. All right, what's going to happen now? 7 cards in hand, anything is possible. Beseiju regularly. Fury our Renin 6, sure. So they're going to Fury our Renin 6, kill Risen Reef with their Renin, or just, yeah, do either one. Ping our Renin 6 with their Renin 6. That's fine. All right, fetch, Zagoth. So I can Renin 6 their Renin 6 and then play Risen Reef. If I do that, they can just attack Renin 6 and kill it, but that's probably fine. Regardless, let us go Risen Reef first. So let's play Yavimaya, and then let's green, blue, play Risen Reef, and we're getting Veto. All right, so now we can have Solitude. So let's Renin 6, minus to kill theirs, and then we can pass with the ability to evoke Solitude to kill Fury when they attack our Ren. Although I don't know that we even need to save Ren at this point, but we probably want to keep it around so that as the game drags out, we can Beseiju lock. What's your opinion on brewing space in Pioneer/Explorer? I've heard it's pretty solved, but from my admittedly Explorer experience, there's decent enough success for my janky like Death Touch, Tribal, and such on Arena. Well, I don't know about Explorer. I believe Explorer is pretty close to Pioneer, but it's like missing a few key cards from meta decks. As for Pioneer, I mean, there's some space to brew, but not a lot because you have to take on some of the high tier decks in the metagame. The most obvious ones that come to mind is Rakdos and Nykthos ramp, but you also have to deal with, I would say, Humans and Greasefang are also up there. Lotus Field as well. I could have Solituded the Omnath in response to its trigger, but I would rather not do that and just try to accrue more value next turn. I'm probably actually not even going to save the Renin 6 when it gets attacked because I would rather just play another Reef and then I can evoke Solitude and draw 2 cards off of it. Fetch, Shawkin, Sacred Foundry, make mana with Omnath. All right, so what are they doing now? Solitude to kill our Risen Reef. All right, we will respond to that. So, okay, that being the case, I think I do want to just shoot Fury and save our Renin 6. All right, let's cast Exile Veto. This here. All right, so Risen Reef triggers. What do we get off of it? Sure, let's put a land into play. Then their Fury gets exiled, then our Reef gets exiled, but at least they can't attack Ren this turn. They have Bolt for Ren, sure. All right, another Beseiju. Okay, well, let's play Risen Reef. There's no reason to fetch with this, so let's just tap that for green, tap that for green, tap that for blue. Trigger the Reef. Yikes. We really don't have a lot going on now. All right, well, Halfling, and then what? I don't want to play either of these Beseijus because I want to use them. I don't think it's worthwhile to kill their lands right now. I'm not taking them off of any colored sources. I guess we just play this land and then pass. All right, what are they playing? The One Ring, sure. All right, well, we got to draw something really good really soon. No blocks. Take 7. Go to 7. We do have a lot of cards we could draw to get out of this. Or a land. Well, we have to chump block something. And then what? I guess let's just play another fetch land and pass the turn. So we're going to throw the Halfling in front of Omnath if they don't have removal. Ring to draw more cards, up to 7. Tapping for what? To Fairy? Sure. So they'll bounce Delighted Halfling. Yep. Renin 6 to ping Risen Reef. We're not actually dead yet. We can actually survive this attack. They kill Risen Reef. Sure. All right. Fetch. Go grab Gingerbread Cabin. Trigger this. And then sack this. So we go to 9 and then down to 2. If they have another Bolt, we're dead. The One Ring having Indestructible feels so unnecessary, although does get a flavor point. Yeah. It's one of those Oko things where you could, all right, well, we just drew another land, so that's the game. It feels like a situation where, like, there's nothing inherently problematic with Oko except for the numbers. Like, the ability to elk creatures and artifacts is fine. It's the numbers on it that's the problem, and it's the same thing with the One Ring. Like, a card that it comes down and it's a draw engine. Like, there are other draw engines. So here's a good comparison. Mystic Forge is a 4-mana colorless artifact. Let me bring that up on the screen, actually. So this is Mystic Forge, and it's a 4-mana draw engine, but it has a bunch of restrictions. It doesn't give you pro everything. It's not indestructible, and the cards that you get off the top, the card on the top has to be either an artifact or a colorless non-land. It doesn't just draw you cards outright. This card is actually fair, and the decks where it's in, which is like Dice Factory and that type of stuff, it's good in them, but it's not broken. So you can do a 4-mana draw engine correctly. All right, we're on the play in round 2. We have Ring, Shape Anew, and no action in the first 3 turns, so let's mulligan that. This is better, I guess. Yeah, so we're going to put a Solitude back, keep the rest of this, done. All right, Windswept, go. So we'll fetch a Triumph, and then we'll untap, fetch, play, Champion of the Parish on turn 1. No other action. Okay, we're Ren and 6ing that now. Fetch, get Zagoth. No, Zagoth? No, we got to get Jetmir, even though that makes Leyline Binding weaker. Let's see. So we have to get Zagoth and we get Stomping Ground. Okay, let's just get Jetmir. And now we can fetch a Breeding Pool. Wow, card design has come so far. Yeah, they need to stop making snowball engines. That's another bad play pattern where a person just has one card that snowballs out of control. And what I'll say is, so a card like Omnath, right? Omnath is a card that a lot of people dislike. But at least Omnath, it just draws a card once. It draws the one card when it enters, and that's it. And yes, you can get more mana out of it the next turn with fetch lands, and you can keep doing that. But at least you have to actually have a payoff for that mana. The card doesn't generate its own payoffs. Whereas the Ring comes down and just says, oh, I'm just going to draw tons and tons of cards every turn. All right, Breeding Pool, pay it, Ren and 6. Why did it tap for blue? Green, red, Ren and 6. Shoot that, go. Snowball Monkey. Yeah, Ragavan is another big problem card. And that's another thing. Cards that are... It's the, the Uro problem of cards that are good at any point in the game. You have cards that have no drawbacks is another issue. Heath, play this. Fetch a Plains. Play Teferi. Bounce this to their hand. Pass. So your 1-drops that are like aggro creatures that kill people should not also be card advantage or card filtering engines. It's why, let's take your typical monodorks, right? Elvish Mystic, Noble Hierarch. These cards are just monodorks. And what are they? They're like 1/1s, 1/2 with Exalted. They're not threats that can themselves win the game. Whereas Ragavan is a monodork and a card advantage engine, in essence. All right, Adeline, they have no attacks. All right, so Ren and 6 is going to plus, get a land back. Remember to plus Teferi, play the land. And then we can Binding this. Deathrite Shaman should have shown them that 1-drop dorks can actually be really broken. Yes. I would argue that Ragavan is better than Deathrite. I don't want to have to evoke a Solitude. I guess I can just play Omnath and it blocks this. And then if they have removal for Omnath, that's fine. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so yeah, I need to fetch. So I have white, red, blue. So I can fetch basic forest. And then I have this, blue, red, play Omnath. And if I have to evoke a Solitude, I will. Oh yeah, easily better IMO, but why push a 1-drop to be better? Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that fire design philosophy and Modern Horizons... So fire design philosophy, which I say is best exemplified by War of the Spark and Throne of Eldraine, and Modern Horizons 2 are cavalcades of design mistakes and bad design philosophies. Anyways, gotta go, fella. Good luck in the league. Well, thanks for stopping by. Copper Coat. Do I just do this now? That's fine. If they want to attack, what can they do? Attack, make a thing. I guess they can trade for Omnath. Yeah, that's fine. I can always just Solitude the Copper Coat. Thalia's Lieutenant, sure. So now they attack, make a token. Adeline becomes a 6/6. Even if I Solitude the Copper Coat, I can't block it profitably. Where are they attacking? Are they attacking me or are they attacking Ren and 6 or Teferi? This is attacking Ren. This is attacking Teferi. So if I block here, I die, but I really need to get more lands. I need to keep having lands. So let's block here. I don't really care about Teferi surviving. So yeah, that's fine. All right. So Solitude this. Teferi kills the human token. All right, so fetch. All right, let's fetch. Temple Garden. Pay 2 life. And let's just cast Solitude normally. Killing Coppercoat. Then Ren picks off the human token. And then we can pass with 2 Solitudes up. We're probably just Solituding Adeline. Thalia, that's fine. All right, I don't want them to get a random human attacker. I guess, no, if they do a random human attacker, I can just block it with Solitude. Yeah, because I want to be able to trade with Thalia's Lieutenant. So let's just evoke Solitude and pitch Leyline Binding. All right, and then kill Adeline. All right, and now if they want to attack a Lieutenant, they get to trade with our Solitude. All right, so they're choosing not to attack. Play another Adeline, sure. All right, let's just kill Thalia. And then what? Play a land. We can play Teferi and bounce Adeline, but then we don't have mana for Solitude, so it's probably better to just, again, hold up Solitude to kill this. Yeah, that seems correct. All right, pass the turn. I don't know which one's the bigger threat, Adeline or Thalia's Lieutenant. It's probably Adeline because we can always Teferi and bounce Lieutenant back to their hand. I mean, that's true for either one, though. All right, drawing a card with Horizon Canopy. Casting what? Another Lieutenant. All right, I'm going to Solitude this one in response, I think. All right, so kill this Lieutenant. And then this Lieutenant will resolve and put a counter on Adeline. And then if they want to attack, they can... Yeah, okay, so animate Mutavault. So Adeline will become a 4/4 or a 5 or 4/5, 5/6, because when it attacks, it'll make a human token. All right, are they attacking Ren and 6 with both? Yeah, all right, so let's just put both the Solitudes here to gain life, and then Ren and 6 can die. So we gain life up to 17. Now, do we want to fetch? I don't think we want to fetch until we know whether... Yeah, because I want to keep it around for Omnath, for Nissa, for potentially to Shape Anew it. All right, well, Fairy, and then we're going to bounce Adeline back to their hand. All right, -3, bounce Adeline. We drew another land. It's kind of awkward. All right, play this land, play Ren and 6, tick up Ren and 6, getting back a land, and then pass. And now if they want to play Adeline, they don't have the mana to play that, plus activate Mutavault, or attack with Mutavault, rather. All right, Adeline returns, pumps Thalia's Lieutenant up to a 3/3, and then it'll be a 4/4 on attack. Is this going to try to hit Ren and 6? Yeah, okay. So make a token, and if I want to trade with this, I have to block both of them, and then I lose both my Solitudes, which is bad. Alternatively, so I can trade with that, and then Ren and 6 picks the token off next turn. Oh, this is attacking to Fairy as well. Oh, that's fine. I'm just surprised I'm not drawing more action at this point, but all right, let's just trade with this while we can. Fairy dies, that's fine. Let's go fetch Zagoth Triumph now, I guess. Or maybe not, because I can cycle it with Ren and 6 if I draw that. All right, let's just get Stomping Ground tapped then. Wow, we're just not drawing anything, are we? All right, well, kill this. Play Delighted Halfling and then just pass the turn holding the lands for landfall triggers later. We have, like, literally, we have 3 more Omnaths in the deck. We have 4 One Rings. We have 4 Shape Anews. We have 4 Risen Reefs. There's so many cards we could draw to draw more cards. 3 mana for Brutal Cathar, sure. So we lose our Halfling. Ren and 6 is going to die from Adeline. We play Aether Vial, all right. Well, there's Solitude, so I guess we just Solitude this now so to prevent Brutal Cathar from flipping. All right, play this, eat Adeline, pass the turn. Aether Vial ticks up to 1. Like, how in the world are we down cards to the humans deck? So Extraction Specialist, fling the Lieutenant back, pump everything. We can still trade with whatever they attack with. All right, just the 2/2, we'll take it. All right, Teferi. What am I bouncing? I guess just the token, probably. Play Teferi, bounce the token, draw Risen Reef. Let's play Risen Reef. Oh, do I not have blue mana? Ooh, that's rough. I guess I have to fetch a basic island. All right, fetch the island. Tap, 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 Risen Reef. Trigger the Reef. Yeah, I guess put that into play. And then pass the turn. Aether Vial up to 2. They can attack, whether they attack me or Teferi, I don't need to block any of this, but I will probably try to save Teferi if possible. A Gonjo Original. Prevent 2 damage to a legend, right? So that's Adeline and Thalia. Drawing a card with Canopy, sure. All right, so I imagine they're going to try to attack Teferi now. All right, I'll block this, and if they vial in a Lieutenant, that's fine. All right, so trade off with their Extraction Specialist. They had no more actions to take, so we'll plus Teferi. We somehow are still not drawing action, even after all that. So let's play Halfling and then pass the turn. So this is a 4/4 first strike. All right. They had no 2-drop to violin, and they're ticking Vial up to 3. Played another land. I'll chump block to keep Teferi on the board if they attack with just the Brute. Although if I were them, I think I would animate... I guess I don't know what's in their hand, but I would animate Mutavault and then try to throw both of them at Teferi. All right, they're both going at Teferi, so I won't block. Teferi dies. And then do they have anything second main? No. And we've drawn another land. All right, pass the turn. All right, vialing in what? Extraction Specialist to get back Thalia's Lieutenant. Or no, to get back Champion of the Parish. All right, or Thalia, one of those. Champion of the Parish. Thalia's Lieutenant becomes a 3/3. They animate Mutavault, and then they're going to swing in with as much as possible. That's 3, 7, 10, 13. I can take that. So I go to 8. All right, down to 8. All right, finally, we actually drew something. All right, so cast the ring. All right, ring trigger, and then we will draw a card with the ring. Another land. All right, we'll play a land at this point because the lands are at least forests with Yavimaya. And then let's pass the turn. So they can't hit us again, at least. And then hopefully the ring can draw us out of this. Playing Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, triggering both of the human pumpers. And then I just assume they have nothing to do because of the ring. All right, Ring trigger, go down to 7. We drew Shape Anew, which we can use to get another ring if needed. So let's draw 2 more cards. All right, Omnath. Casting Omnath, that'll trigger itself and Reef. Always yield. Always yield. All right, we drew Boseiju. We get another ring off of the Risen Reef. Then we can go land to trigger Omnath. Probably need to play this ring because we still don't have a board that's anywhere near as good as what they have. And at this point, I don't think I want to get rid of Aether Vial. I think I want to get rid of probably the humans that are just like pumping, that are getting pumped and becoming really big. Plus I can flip the Moon Rage back and then it'll flip and exile something. So maybe I need to get rid of that too. All right. So I 100% need to get another ring. So let's fetch, grab Gingerbread Cabin, trigger Omnath. Yeah, the food token, get mana with Omnath. And then we're going to cast the 1 ring, keep the new 1 ring. 1 ring triggers. And then I guess we can just pass the turn. If Moonrage flips, they exile something, and then we just binding it. All right, go ahead. So one issue is we do need to get all of these things off the board, and we've already used up all of our Solitudes. Yeah, so they'll take Omnath, which doesn't matter. It's actually better for us because then when we get rid of it, Omnath will come back and trigger itself and Reef again. I don't know that we actually have a way to win this game now, with all of our Solitudes gone. All right, let's cast Leyline Binding, target the Brutal Cathar. What in the world do they have to respond to this with? Cathar Commando, so they can blow up Binding in response. Okay, sure. All right, draw a card with the ring, I guess. Do I want to use Boseiju right now? I suppose I do. Let's channel Boseiju, blow up Mutavault. Do we actually have a way to win this game at this point? All 4 Solitudes are gone. I guess we have Bindings into Fairies. All right, all the rest of this stuff goes off. Ring trigger, we go to a 9. Let's see. Thalia is small enough that I can shoot it. So let's start with Risen Reef. Well, let's start with 1 ring to get more options. All right. All right, so let's play Risen Reef. Do I want to put Zagoth into play? I guess. Then the other Risen Reef, draw Renin 6, and then we can play yet another Risen Reef. So let's do that. Green, green. So Risen Reef number 3, put a land into play, grab Leyline Binding, and the last Risen Reef is... I cannot believe this is still game 1, and one of us is probably going to clock by the pace that it's going at. Wait, this is still game 1? Yep, this is game 1. All right, get a halfling, and then we play a land, and then we can... Oh no, I'm out of blue mana? Oh, I've miscalculated this. I thought I could Shape Anew in the ring, but I don't have blue now that all this is tapped. All right, well, that being the case, let's just play the halfling. Okay, so let's play halfling. And then we can Leyline Binding the Cathar. So let's put a stop on their upkeep. Actually, okay, so Thalia is making the binding cost more. So I can go Renin 6 for 3 mana, kill Thalia off, then cast Leyline Binding. Red, green, white. Shoot Thalia. All right, and then I'm going to stop on their upkeep and binding the Cathar. Aether Vial on 3. Okay. Adeline, that's fine. All right, we'll let the Vial trigger resolve. Now cast Binding. All right, our opponent has had enough. We don't actually have a way out of that game, though, because we lose all our Solitudes. All right, game 2. None of this stuff is useful, except maybe Terra Sunder later in the game. I think we just stick with what we have in the main deck. All right, game 2 on the draw. Our opponent has 6 minutes left. If they can beat us in 2 games in under 6 minutes, I would be very impressed. All right, only 1 land, that's a mole. Still only 1 land, that's a mole. 3 lands, none of which are fetches for Renin 6 or even the colors for Renin 6, but we're not going to 4. So keep this, and then I suppose we'll bin... wow, that's tricky. If I draw fetch land at any point, Renin 6 becomes very useful. So let's put back, I guess, Omnath and the cabin. I do need to draw lands to get to the 1 ring, though. I can't even cast Binding with the current state of this, so I guess Binding. Oh, I need to turn this step off. I forget that doesn't reset in between games. Cavern of Souls, Aether Vial, pass the turn. Play Yavimaya and go. All right, opponent plays a Ganjo, Seed of the Empire. Thalia, that's a problem. Vials in. Esper Sentinel, okay. Well, things are not looking good, boys. I'm going to play this now so that if I need to have an untapped land next turn for some reason. So last game, we didn't draw any action for turn after turn. This game, we have mulled to 5 and have 3 rings in our hand and only 3 mana. All right, we take 3, go to 17. All right, there's Leyline Binding, which I believe we can't even cast. So go. It's currently being cost reduced to 4 and then cost increased to 5 with Thalia. So we're actually just going to lose to the beatdowns. We can't, even if we draw 4th land, we can't play the ring. All right, we're down to 15. Play this land tapped. Or no, okay, so That makes Leyline Binding cost 3, cost 4, so no, play it untapped, and then we'll just bind Thalia, I guess. Yeah. And they'll get to draw 2 cards off their Esper Sentinels, but what are you going to do? All right, attack with everything, cast Binding, Sentinels trigger, which is fine. Can't pay, get rid of Thalia. They play another Aether Vial, okay. Another Agonjo, at Legend ruling out the first one. All right, we drew another ring, so yeah, I guess we're going to play the ring. Triggering both the Sentinels, can't pay, and they're responding with Containment Priest, sure. Can't pay with Esper Sentinel, okay. Ring resolves, draw a card. If it's a land, I can play it. If it's not a land, go. All right, Cathar Commando, which I assume they'll use to blow up Leyline Binding to get Thalia back, which it doesn't come back because Containment Priest stops it. That's nifty. All right, we drew Solitude. We can't use it, so draw with the ring, and then we'll be forced to play another ring. So, if a non-critical creature, and it wasn't cast. Okay. 1 ring. All right, we finally drew more mana, so we're going to play Island, 1 ring, the Sentinels trigger. I will not pay for either one. 1 ring resolves, keep the new ring, play Halfling, pass the turn. All right, the vials go on the stack. I'm pretty confident they can't beat us in 3 minutes now that we have literally all 4 rings in our deck that we can play back to back. Thalia, trigger the champion, it becomes bigger. All right, end step, draw a card with the ring. Untap, go to 4. All right, draw 2 cards with the ring. That's helpful. All right, play a land, play another ring. I need to pay another one. This one. All right, new ring, not paying for these Sentinels. I guess actually no, I can pay for the Sentinels, but do I want to? Because I can run out another Halfling. Actually, let's pay that. Ring resolves, keep the new ring, trigger the ring, play a Halfling, go. All right, the vials go on the stack. That's fine. Draw a card with the ring. We have Solitude. All right, untap, take 1 from the ring. Draw with the ring. Draw a whole bunch of cards. How much mana do I have? Let's play a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can Solitude this Thalia and then play the ring, unless they vial in another Thalia. So I need to cast this, exiling Teferi, kill Thalia. Thalia goes away. Then play the ring. Tap, 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 tap. Ring. You can draw cards with Esper Sentinel. That's fine. Ring resolves. Keep new ring. Ring trigger. Then play Wrenn and 6. Kill one of these. Then play Risen Reef. Oh no, I'm out of mana for Risen Reef. All right. No, I'm not because this can make green. Blue, tap. Cast Risen Reef. Vialing in. Doesn't matter because Containment Priest is going to exile it. Risen Reef trigger, get to Fairy. That's good. Pass the turn. All right, I'm just going to keep skipping priority as much as possible because we're also close to clocking out ourselves. Thalia's Lieutenant, that's fine. Coppercoat. Oh, I should have responded to that. All right, that's fine too. They can't hit us anyway. Esper Sentinel. I'm just waiting for them to go to attacks. Draw a card. Take a damage. All their guys are pumped, but not by a lot. All right. Minus, kill this. Oh, I should have gotten rid of that first. All right, yeah, I'll pay that. Fighting the clock here. That resolves. All right, cast Solitude. White. Oh my gosh, I don't have a second white source. All right, well, exile Teferi. Cast Solitude. Eat Coppercoat. Put this on the stack. Play this, and then pass. Oh my gosh, okay, I just need to pass priority as fast as possible so I don't clock before they do. All right, get rid of this one. Am I actually dead on board here? Block, block, block. Even if I draw at the ring, I'm still gonna die. All right, sideboarding. Same deal is fine. Submit. They take less game actions than we do because we have fetches and all kinds of other stuff, so I just need to play as fast as humanly possible now. Keep. Jetmir. Go. Containment Priest, sure. Fetch. Oh, this is gonna be close. So friggin' close this is gonna be. All right, I'm not gonna block that. Oh my gosh, we're actually gonna clock out before they do. Wow. All right. So if I had just not taken as many game actions in that second game, could have made it. I gotta get better at that. All right, on to round number 3. All right, looks keepable. We're on the draw, I believe. Field of Ruin on turn 1 into Relic of Progenitus. So I'm guessing this is coffers then. All right, land go. Okay, maybe not. Basic mountain. All right, well, foothills, fetch. I guess I forced them to pop the relic now. Grabbing Breeding Pool, cast Wrenn and 6, tick up, try to return a land. I mean, I do not see a more opportune time to pop relic than now, so, End of turn, bolting Wrenn and 6 maybe? Yeah, bolt Wrenn and 6. Shinka. Is this mono red mid-range? Blood Moon. All right, well, we're dead now. Hoi, plus on nothing. Play a basic island, and then We just have to draw into our basics. Opponent heats Wrenn 6 out of the way. All right. But they have no follow-up? Or they do? No, they have no follow-up. All right. Well, play a land, and then we can't cast anything, so go. End of turn Bolt Dust down to 13. All right. Opponent's going to hard cast Fury now. Season Pyromancer. All right. Discarding a heat. All right. Play a land, go. They attack us down from 13 to 10. And they cast Fury. So now we're going to 1 next turn. All right, well, we drew Solitude, so we can Solitude the Fury at least. They're channeling Soken's-On, all right? Exile Solitude, or exiling Omnath, kill Fury, and then we go to 5, so their clock is still the same. All right, next game. Well, now that we know that they're a Blood Moon deck, we can fetch more appropriately. Do I want to bring in... I guess I want to bring in Terra Sunders to deal with the Blood Moons. So let's bring these in. Let's take out... So the thing is, I'm kind of good with everything else. I guess we can cut down on the Shape Anew plan to make room for these. All right, submit. All right, game 2 on the play. We have a basic forest. We can fetch the basic plains out of our deck. Seems okay. I think I'm still going to just go turn 1 Foothills and grab Zagoth. And then we can fetch plains next turn and have Leyline Binding up. Down to the Bugbear, turn 1 Ragavan. Yep, play Heath, pass, and then we'll Binding the Ragavan. Play a Mountain. All right, in combat, fetch a plains, cast Leyline Binding, and bind the Ragavan. All right, Ragavan is now bound. They had no turn to play. Well, I'm going to just play this tapped. I get, should I do that, or should I just shock and then cycle this Jet Mirror? I have so much card draw in my hand, though. Yeah, let's just play that and pass. Even if they Blood Moon us next turn, we still have rings and 2 of our basic color types. All right, Field of Ruin. So they might just field one of our Triomes. Yeah, that's what it looks like. All right, well, let's grab the island. So now we're pretty protected from Blood Moon. All right, Forest, play Omnath. So they have to have Fury to kill it now if they want to get rid of it, and they have to evoke Fury to do it. All right, they are evoking a Fury. They exiled Lightning Bolt to do that. Shatter Skull, the Hammer Pass, untapped, Stone Braining up. What are they going to name with Stone Brain? Decks like Elementals or just like big value piles that are not combo decks are not decks that I would bring in extraction effects against. So they're naming Omnath, sure. All right, so now they know our hand, and they know we have 2 rings. We drew Solitude, eh? It's probably best to just go ring, draw a card, play this tap land. Yeah, that seems correct. All right, well, now let's shock this in and play Halfling. Blast Zone into what? Into Maze Mine Tome. And then play Pyromancer? Yeah. Discarding Fable the Mirror Breaker. I personally would have done that the other way. Ring takes us to 15. All right, so now we have 6 mana. We can go Solitude plus Halfling. That's reasonable. We should just draw first. All right, so we have even more mana than that. I don't really care about this Maze Mine Tome. They have to spend 2 mana to do it. All right, let's go with... So can we play all of this? Can we go... So 5 and 6 or Wrenn 6? Okay, let's do that. I guess they also have Den of the Bugbear, so I can't just attack willy-nilly. Solitude, white, exile Pyromancer, and play Yavimaya, play Wrenn 6, eat the token, and then go. So they could spend their whole turn animating Den of the Bugbear, in which case I just trade with it. Or they can play Fury, which mops our board up, but we still have tons of cards. Or they can play... Or they can just like activate Maze Mine Tome to draw a card, and then they have less mana to work with. All right, opponent plays Field of Ruin. I assume they're going to draw a card off of Maze Mind. Yep, draw a card off of Maze Mind. Unholy Heat the Solitude. Dashing Ragavan? Or, yeah, okay, Dashing Ragavan so that they can kill Wrenn 6. All right, take 2 from the ring. So we can play another Wrenn 6. Well, we're just going to ring, draw for sure. So draw a bunch of cards off the ring. All right, Nissa first. So tap, cast Nissa, tap, and tap. Then play a fetch land, trigger Nissa. Always yield to Nissa triggers. Let's make green. Then we will fetch. Just grab Gingerbread Cabin. Trigger again. Make a red mana for Wrenn 6, I think. Got Risen Reef off of that. And then make a food token. And then we can go what? Wrenn 6. Pick up Zagoth Triome. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana left. So we can hold up Solitude, or I can just kill this Maze Mine Tome now. That seems better. Cast. Kill the Maze Mine Tome. Tap this. And then play Risen Reef, trigger the Reef, get Teferi into the hand, pass turn. So opponent has Ragavan and 2 unknowns. Hey man, I'm back. What's our record? Unfortunately, we're 0-2. Shatter Skull smashing on both of those. That's fine. All right, ring, we take 3. Okay, Wrenn pick up a land. Sag, did that mono white deck beat us in 6 minutes? No, we clocked before they did, amazingly. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just play we do need to get this ring off the table, so we need to play our ring this turn. So let's draw a bunch of cards, whole bunch of lands. All right, so let's play the new ring and this one. Keep the new ring and then play. I guess I can give them their Ragavan back. That's fine. Let's play Teferi, or I can just plus it. Yeah, let's just plus it and play another land. Tap this for green, play Halfling, and then pass the turn and discard a land. All right, so opponent has Ragavan, 1 unknown. They obviously can't just hardcast the Ragavan because then we can shoot it. All right, well, this being the case, let us bounce our binding back to our hand. Then we'll shoot the Ragavan that just came in, and we'll play another land. We're going to have to discard anyway, so let's Beseiju, Den of the Bugbear. Have I played a land this turn? I'm not sure. Are they going to pop Blast? They're going to pop Blast Zone now to kill our Delighted Halflings, or they're going to use Field. Opponent puts charge counters on Blast Zones, so they're putting it to 3 so they can kill Teferi. That's fine. Have I played a land this turn yet? Okay, I have. At this point, I honestly think I just start attacking them with these Halflings. All right, so now they're going to pop Field of Ruin on end step. I have no valid searches. I don't even know what they hit. What did they hit? They hit Yavimaya. Okay. You must discard. I will discard a land. Well, so I guess they're going to pop Blast Zone to get rid of Teferi, and then that takes up most of their mana. They'll probably dash Ragavan, and I'll just Solitude it. Let's just cast Solitude now. Opponent plays another land, and then if they want to pop Blast Zone to get Teferi off the board, I guess they don't have to do it until our turn. We're not taking down for another turn. Blast Zone, pop Teferi, sure. There was no reason for them to do that on their turn. They should have waited to ours, because now I can just play this other Teferi. Play a Ragavan that's just going to die. All right. Actually, I'm not even going to shoot it with Teferi. I'm going to play Binding, or with Wrenn and 6. Zagoth into play. Cast Binding. Pick up Beseiju. Then let's play Risen Reef. Windswept Heath into play. Then let's attack with this. I want to keep Binding up, and I want to play Teferi and Beseiju. So that creates 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so just Solitude. And then play Teferi, pick up, and go ahead. And then I get to hold up Leyline Binding in case they do something. They're at 1 card. They really should just concede at this point. All right, plus get back Yavimaya. Play Yavimaya. And now Den of the Bugbear can be activated, but that doesn't matter. All right, let's just attack with everything. Attack all. All right, they're just taking it. They'll go to 10. We go up to 15. Well, I've played my land. I have not ticked Teferi up this turn. Let's just pass. And then what? They're going to pop Blast Zone for Halfling, or they're going to put this to 3 for Teferi again, presumably. Put charge counters on it. Just say do that now. All right, 1 card and a Den of the Bugbear activation. Even if they activate Den, they can't kill either of our walkers. They're also losing the race. Activate Den. I'm not going to respond to either of these. All right, they put Wrenn and 6 to 2, and they have nothing else. All right, at this point, I'm gaining life off Solitude enough that I'll draw with the ring. Take 1 from the ring, drew another ring. Let's draw more. All right, another ring and Risen Reef. Let's start with Reef. 2 Reef triggers, Leyline Binding to hand, and land into play. And then let's just attack with all of our creatures. I think I'm honestly just going to ping them with Wrenn and 6 rather than doing anything else. Or maybe I should just grab Beseiju and blow up Den. Yeah, that's probably better. What can they have? They have no... They can't cast spells, so yeah. All right, damage, they go to 4. I'm going to bounce this token. Take up, get Beseiju back, play a land for the turn, and then pass, discarding some lands, I suppose. I have to discard 2 cards. Land. Fabled Mirror Breaker, sure. Why is our opponent playing this out? Like, that's not going to help. We have another Teferi activation that we can just bounce it with. They're also way lower on clock than we are, so that's not even a consideration. Bolt the Solitude, sure. And then they conceded. All right. So just keep this the same, I suppose. Is it worth bringing in Veto? If Fable, Blood Moon, random like burn spells, I don't think that matters. Let's run it back. See ya, JS. All right, game 3. Can we actually win a match? Well, we have 2 Wrenn and 6s with multiple fetch lands, 1 of the basics, and we have Leyline Binding and Terra Sunder in case they Blood Moon us, so I think that's fine. They're playing the land tapped, so they have no turn 1 play. All right, so let's just play this, and then we have the ability to fetch whatever we need. So I should probably fetch Jetmir, so that way I can fetch a basic forest, so that if they Blood Moon us, they're going to play Stonebrain. Okay, that's fine. It is kind of annoying if they take Omnath out of our deck, though, so maybe I'll just kill that. All right, let's grab Jetmir. So now I cannot play Teferi on turn 3 if I fetch differently, but, You know what? If they spend their whole turn just activating Stonebrain on us to get rid of Omnath, I am perfectly fine with that. Fetch the forest, and play Wrenn and 6. Get back a land, go. Like, if they actually spend their entire turn just activating the Stonebrain, and doing nothing else, then that is a-okay by me. Tapped Den of the Bugbear. All right, so they are just going to activate the Stonebrain, and I presume they'll just name Omnath again. They're naming the One Ring this time. That's probably even a worse name, in terms of, for them at least. Omnath's better for me than the One Ring is. Evoke Fury to kill Ren and 6. All right. Exiling Flame Slash. Huh. What is the best play here? Probably Risen Reef. All right, so fetch Breeding Pool. Take the 2. Cast Risen Reef. Get another Teferi, go. And then I have Solitude up if that matters. Opponent plays another land, and now what? Heat our Risen Reef, sure. Opponent down to 2 cards in hand while we have a ton of cards. Field of Ruin, our Jetmir's Garden. Okay. Grab the island in our deck. All right, so we have 4 mana. So now what? Probably just... Okay, so if I just play Ren and 6, they can Den of the Bugbear to kill it, but that actually doesn't matter because I can Solitude in to kill Den of the Bugbear. So just running Teferi out's okay. I need to fetch a land if I'm going to play Ren. Let's do the more mana-efficient play and just play Teferi. And we'll just plus Teferi. Another Field of Ruin. So they're going to field our Breeding Pool. No, they're activating Den. Yeah, okay. Cast, exile Teferi. Kill Den of the Bugbear. All right. Plus Teferi again. Fetch Shock to play Ren and 6. To get back a fetch land. Play Delighted Halfling. And then I have Leyline Binding mana up. Binding our Stomping Ground. Okay. We don't have any more basics to go get. Now they have 2 mana. It's Pyrite Spellbomb, and then what? They'll just kill our Halfling? That seems kind of poor on their part. Like, they can't keep us off mana. We're just going to keep Ren and 6ing back whatever it is that they blow up. Plus Ren and 6, get back Jetmir's Garden. I'm going to play Verdant, and that way I can fetch Zagoth. And then I can just keep cycling the Jetmir's Garden every turn if I want. Tapped Den of the Bugbear. All right, fetch. Grab Zagoth Triome. Cycle this, and tap. All right, play Yavimaya, plus Ren and 6, get back Jetmir's Garden, plus Teferi, and then go. And now I get to pass with Terra Sunder, double Leyline Binding up. Actually, no, I don't have the second white source. So Terra Sunder plus Leyline Binding. Opponent bolts Ren and 6, sure. Opponent plays Blood Moon, all right. All right, they've had enough. I swear, guys, I can actually win matches. All right, round 4, and we are on the draw. This hand's good, keep. It's obviously awkward if the Halfling gets killed because then we don't have mana for Ren or being able to play Nissa. All right, looks like we're playing against Scam in all likelihood with removal up, but what are we going to do? Just not play Delighted Halfling? All right, shock that in, play Halfling, and go. They didn't have the removal. Another Blackcleave Cliffs, evoke Fury, and then presumably they will scam it back. No, they won't scam it back. What'd they exile? They exiled Seasoned Pyromancer? All right. So they are scammed, so they could have a main deck Blood Moon, but I think it's better to just play Ren and 6. Grabbing Stomping Ground, pay the life, red and green, play Ren and 6, get back Windswept Heath. If they have Blood Moon, they have Blood Moon. We get got. End of turn Bowmasters, so they can shoot Ren down to 3 and then attack Ren for 2 and put him to 1, or potentially just kill him with something else. Dothy Voidwalker, all right. And then Ren and 6 goes to 1. Well, I have no confidence that I'm going to be able to protect this Ren and 6, and also, as long as Dothy's in play, I can't even get fetches back from the graveyard. What can I do right now? I can shock in Breeding Pool, bind... Okay, so currently the binding costs 3. If I put binding in tapped, I can then bind the Dothy. I can shoot Orcish Bowmasters. That seems good. So let's play that tapped, then let's play binding. Let's bind this, and then kill the Bowmasters off. And then next turn we can play Omnath, or we can play Nissa, fetch, and then put Risen Reef into play. Opponent plays Blood Moon. Alright. Well, we drew Beseiju, but now we need to just draw a basic forest normally. So let's see. I guess I'm cycling Jetmir's Triome. I guess I'm cycling it at the end of their turn so that they can't Thoughtseize stuff out of my hand. So just play this, go. Alright, we go to 13 off the token. And then, all right, cycle this. Delighted Halfling, that's not going to help. We drew the forest. Amazing. All right, blow that up. I need to do it. I need to be able to fetch a plains. So let's do that. Now we can fetch basic plains out of the deck and then play Risen Reef. Put the Misty into play. And then if they don't Blood Moon us again next turn, we can Misty for the island. All right, we're getting some kind of instant speed spell. Takanuma channel, and then they'll get back Fury or Bowmasters. They got Fury back. So now they can Fury kill our Reef, and then we take 1 from the... Oh, Thoughtseize us. Okay, so they'll take Omnath, Then attack us for 1. We won't block, although I assume they have the 5th land. Or no, they didn't. They opted to Thoughtseize instead of Furying our Risen Reef off the board. Interesting. All right, well, okay, so if I go Nissa and then fetch, I get more mana, but, All right, so let's play Nissa, and then fetch, grab the island, trigger this, and let's make white, and we can cast Teferi. All right, so now let's attack with the Risen Reef, and then let's bounce our own Risen Reef back to our hand. Actually, no, okay, so if I do that, they do have a Fury in their hand. Yeah, so it's probably better if I just go Teferi, bounce this, then they'll play Fury, kill Nissa, attack Teferi to death, but that's fine. So, oh no, I get to play the Halfling, so they can't do everything. So they'll go Fury, kill this, and kill Teferi. All right, play the Halfling. Played another Swamp. Fury, yeah, and then 3 here, 1 here. All right, we can fetch for the ring, but we can actually do both. So let's go this, get another trigger off the Risen Reef. Leyline Binding to hand is pretty good, but it's probably better to just fetch, get Gingerbread Cabin, and then we can go tap, 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 shape Anew on this, the 1 ring, draw a card, and pass the turn. We do not have the mana up for binding though, because we need to put Zagoth Triumph into play. Want to play Seasoned Pyromancer, discarding, Feign Death. All right, we take 1 from the ring and go to 8, so we are kind of low. It's still probably better to draw more cards here. I can always shape Anew this ring into a new ring. All right, there's Omnath. So let's see, they have 2 mana up. Is it better to go to Teferi first? Probably. What do they have to have? Terminate in order to kill this? It's fine. Let's just play Omnath. Red, green, white, blue. Triggers. Risen Reef resolves. Gets Leyline Binding. All right, so let's play a fetch land, gain 4. Let's fetch. Let's go get the Zagoth Triumph so that Leyline Bindings are online. Omnath triggers. So we'll have 2 white. So let's cast Risen Reef, get more lands, potentially, or just more cards in general. More Risen Reef triggers, get Teferi. Second trigger gets Windswept Heath, which I'll put into play and deal 4 to them. Then we have cast Leyline Binding, target the Fury. And now Teferi, white, green, blue, holding up Leyline Binding. And I'm not even sure what I'm bouncing. Probably just one of these tokens, the elemental. Okay, they concede. On to the next game. So Terra Sunder to deal with Blood Moon and random other threats. Hallowed Moonlight to deal with the scam stuff. Cut some of this. Have to take out another bunch of cards though. Risen Reef's really, really bad against Orcish Bowmasters, so we can lose that. This is, I think, fine. All right, submit. All right, on the draw, we do have Solitude. We have Solitude and Run to 6, so I'll keep this. And if they try to scam us on turn 1, we can Solitude it. If they don't, we do have Run and 6 and Hallowed Moonlight for turns 2. Our opponent is mulliganing to 3. Okay. And they have conceded. Well, alrighty then. On to the last match. All right, we are on the play in match number 5. We have... Okay, this is a bit awkward. So we can't actually play Halfling on turn 1 because both of our lands enter tapped. And we don't have red mana for Renin 6. So we can't play that on curve either. So I think this is actually a mulligan. All right. Better. We do have it's essentially 2 triumphs to get Leyline Binding. So we'll keep this and we'll put back... It's tough. It's pretty close, actually. There's, it's probably one of these, or maybe Solitude. Okay, let's put back Solitude. So let's play Windswept Heath, pass the turn. We'll fetch Jetmir's Garden, and then we can play Zagoth next turn and hold Binding up. All right, looks like it's Scam again. Well, it would have been better to keep Solitude. Literally the only matchup where it would have been better to keep Solitude. So now I assume they'll just scam it, and they'll probably take Binding plus one of our draw engines. So at this point... They are scam, so I can potentially get got by Blood Moon, but I still think I need red mana in case I draw Renin 6. So let's just grab Jetmir's Garden anyway. All right. Well, there's Misty. So let's play Zagoth, and then we'll play Misty next turn. All right, and now we're going to take 4 from the Grief. We have Dothy. All right, so we're under a lot of pressure right now. All right, well, we can at least Solitude, I guess, the Grief. We probably just have to. Yeah, all right. Pass the turn. Yeah, Grief puts us on more of a clock than Dothy does, and Dothy's not like really that bad attack. So cast Solitude, pitch Omnath, kill Grief. Then we take 3 from Dothy and go to 12. And then I'm holding onto this Misty Rainforest rather than cracking it right now because I'm not sure if I want to trigger Gingerbread Cabin next turn or not. Because if I do, then I need to get a basic forest. But if I get a basic forest, it means I don't have the mana for Omnath. 2-turn clock with double Dothy. All right, draw. What am I getting? Another land. Well, that sucks. Okay, so, if I fetch and get gingerbread cabin, so let's say I fetch and get gingerbread cabin, then I have a food token, and then next turn I'm going to 6, and then if I need to fetch again for Omnath, I don't think I can die next turn, so let's just play Verdant Pass, because this probably needs to get one of our shock lands. All right, the fact that they're fetching another basic swamp tells me I'm probably getting Blood Mooned here. All right, take 6 down to 6. And now what are they casting? Oh, they just don't have anything? All right, in that case, let's go to 5 and let's go find probably Temple Garden is what we need. So, and then do not take damage from that. All right, what do we get? Nothing. I guess we're not technically dead. We could gingerbread cabin and then sack the food and be at 2 life, but it's not looking good. All right, scam, same thing. Put all of this in, take out some of this. They're almost certainly playing Orcish Bowmasters. Take this out. Submit. All right, on the play, we have multiple fetch lands to get around Blood Moon. We also have Bindings on Ring. Seems good. All right, Wood Foothills, go. Opponent fetches, gets a basic Swamp, Grief. All right, I guess we have to Solitude this. All right, yeah. I mean, if they're going to take everything out of our hand anyway, then we may as well just get it off the board. I'm just going to fetch now so we can F6 through the rest of the turn. All right, Grief's gone. They'll take the One Ring. Oh man, they have also Furied with Undying. All right, well, that's going to be a really fast clock, unless we can find an answer to that. So we need to draw Lane Line Binding. Hallowed Moonlight, right on time, deck. All right, well, go ahead. So now we just fetch basic plains, cycle this at end of turn. All right, we go into 11. Second land, Torok, without kicker. All right, go find plains, cycle. We're literally dead next turn if we don't find an answer. All right, we can run in 6 to kill that. Oh, no, we can't because we don't have red mana. So I'd have to fetch. Wow, we're dead. So I have to fetch to get red, which then lets me cast Renin 6 to ping this, but then I die to Fury. The other option is just cast Delighted Halfling Chump Block. I guess we're not completely dead. So cast Delighted Halfling, play fetch land, go. If they have any removal, we lose. Thoughtseize, take our Renin 6. Torok gets bigger. Chump here. All right, fetch the other Triumph, and let's see what we get. Nothing. What a whimper of an ending that was. All right, so I think just wrapping this up afterwards quickly, I think Renin 6, or rather Risen Reef, is much worse in the format right now with Orcish Bowmasters running around everywhere. So probably just correct to cut these from the deck if you're playing them. Otherwise, and then the Shape Anew plan, I think for as good as the One Ring is, I think this plan is actually better off with Portal. There was many situations in the matches we played where it would have actually just been better to grab Portal than One Ring. So if I were to change this deck back, I would put back in Portal. All right, yeah, so if you're gonna play Shape Anew, probably play this version instead.